Barcelona are quietly working on a move for a former La Masia talent, and he could become Raphinha's next backup. But the name might surprise you. Welcome back to the channel. If you love Barca content, hit like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Let's rewind to last summer. FC Barcelona, a club that has produced some of the greatest footballers the world has ever seen, made a decision. A 19-year-old winger from their own academy system, a kid who had arrived just 12 months earlier from Gimnastic de Tarragona, was sold out. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Barcelona have done this before. They've loaned players out, let players go, and sometimes they live to regret it. But here's what made this one a little different. Barcelona didn't just open the door and wave goodbye. They were smart about it. They kept 50% of Virgili's rights. And they built in a first refusal clause, meaning if Mallorca ever wants to sell, Barcelona is first in line. That tells you everything you need to know about how highly they thought of this kid even on the way out. So Virgili rocked up at RCD Mallorca, not glamorous, not flashy, but competitive. And for a 19-year-old winger who needed to prove himself, absolutely perfect. And prove himself he did. 22 La Liga appearances this season. 6 assists. This is a teenager, in one of the most competitive leagues on the planet. Creating chances, breaking lines, making defenders look like they've never seen pace before in their lives. The way this kid plays is electric. We're talking raw pace that makes you lean forward in your seat, dribbling that has that edge of your chair unpredictability, and a directness, a willingness to run at defenders that you simply cannot coach. Virgili has that fearlessness. And it's not just club football turning heads. Spain has taken notice at international level too. He's broken into the Spanish under-21 national team and has already scored 2 goals in 2 appearances in 2 games. The kid doesn't waste time, does he? His market value? Rising rapidly. The boy who left Barcelona as a promising youngster is quickly becoming a genuine hot property. Now here's where it gets really interesting. According to journalist Jose Alvarez of El Chiringuito, and if you follow Spanish football, you know El Chiringuito doesn't play around when it comes to Barcelona transfer news. The club are actively considering bringing Virgili back to the Camp Nou this summer. But before you call this hypocritical, let's be fair. This is actually smart recruitment if they pull it off. They never fully let go, remember? The 50% rights clause and the first refusal option weren't accidents. And now that growth has happened faster than perhaps even they expected, the trigger might be getting pulled. So where would Virgili fit if he did return? The talk is that he'd come in as cover and backup for Raphinha on the left flank. Now, Raphinha this season has been absolutely sensational, arguably one of the best players in Europe. So asking Virgili to replace him isn't the conversation. But backup? Competition? Someone who can rotate in and keep that position electric even when Raphinha needs a rest? That makes a lot of sense. Barcelona plays a lot of football. Champions League, La Liga, Copa del Rey, the schedule is relentless. Having a dynamic, young, hungry winger who understands the system and has already proven himself in La Liga? That's not a gamble. That's a calculated move. And there's another layer to this. The Marcus Rashford situation. You'll remember Barcelona were heavily linked with the Manchester United forward, and a permanent deal was, and reportedly still is, on the agenda. But doubts are creeping in. Whether it's the price tag, the wages, the form, or something else entirely, the Rashford move is no longer the sure thing it once looked like. So Barcelona are covering their bases. Virgili is an option. Easy Abd, another former Barcelona player, is also being monitored. The club are clearly thinking creatively about how to strengthen that left side without necessarily breaking the bank. Whether the return actually happens this summer, that remains the big question. Contracts, transfer fees, Mallorca's negotiating position, there are a lot of moving parts. But the intent is there from Barcelona's side, and with those contractual protections already in place, the pathway exists. Virgili, 19 years old, 6 assists in La Liga, Spanish under-21 international, and potentially Barcelona-bound once again. If you're not watching this kid yet, start now because by the time summer arrives, everyone will be talking about him. As always, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Would you bring Virgili back to Barcelona? Is he ready for that step up? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.
Visca Barça!